For 2.3 practice and homework, I'm going to go over the odd problems with you. So number 1 says that Martha ran 5/8 of a mile and Terry ran 6/15 of a mile on the weekend. Who ran a larger portion of the mile? Write an inequality. So that means, right, that is not equal. So our comparing symbols. So we are comparing 5/8 and 6/15. Oh, that was not a great 15th there. Let me try that again. So 8ths and 15ths are not the same. So I have a few options here of some things I can do. I can try and use common denominators. If I'm counting by 15s, right? 15, 30, 45, 60. There's not really a great number that 8 is going to go into. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these into decimals. So if I take my numerator and I add a couple decimal places and I divide it by the denominator, so it can't go into 5, but it can go into 50 6 times, which is 48, 2 left over. So it's about 0.62, 62 cents. They ran a little bit more than half of a mile. And then if I take this one, if I do 6, add a couple decimal places and divide by 15, 15 can't go into 6. So it goes into 60, 15, 30, 45, 60, exactly 4 times, which is 60. There's nothing left over. 15 goes into 0, 0 times. This person ran only 40 hundredths. So by turning them into decimals, it makes it a lot easier to see who ran more. 62 is bigger than 40. So that means Martha ran more. Here's my inequality. 5/8 is greater than 6/15. So if you're doing this with me, I better see your work, not just the answer. I need to see that you did this with me so that you practiced as well. Okay, number 3, a cuckoo clock has birds that pop out of their nests every 6 minutes and dancers that pop out every 15. The birds and the dancers just popped out at the same time. When will this happen again? So, right, so like 0 minutes. And so we have a cuckoo clock bird. So we have the bird and the dancers. So the bird's going to pop out again in 6 minutes. The dancers are going to pop out in 15. So we're just going to start making lists to see when are they going to pop out at the same time. So the birds will pop out again at 12, 6, 12. They'll pop out again at 18. They'll pop out again at 24. So you're going to keep making a list of the 6s. So far, right, they're not lining up. If I go to the next 15 increment, they're going to pop out again in 30 minutes. So 15 minutes, then 30 minutes, then 45. But none of these are the same so far. So keep making a list of your 6s and see what's the first number that they line up at. What we're really doing is we're finding the LCM. We're finding the least common multiple. We listed our multiples. We found the smallest one that they have in common. Hey, number 5 says to find the GCF, the greatest common factor. So factors are fewer, but then we're looking for the biggest one. So we have 8 and 12. So we have 8 and 12. So we want to list these out. So always go in order. 1 times 8. 2 times 4 makes 8. 3 can't. 4. That's all of the ones for 8. So then I do 12. 1 times 12. So make sure you're listing these with me. So you can't just have an answer. I've got to see the work. 2 times 6. 3 times 4. Then we already have 4. So now I'm just looking for the biggest number that they both have. They do not both have 8, but they do both have 4. So the biggest number that can go into 8 and 12 is 4. Ooh, this one we've got to do 3 of them. So we've got 18, 36, and 60. So I'm going to help you out here. there are, right, we always start with 1 and 18. Just counting how many you should have. So here's the first set. You should have 2 more. So see if you can find the other 2 sets of numbers. So there's 2 numbers, then 2 more numbers. See if you can find those. Okay, 36 has quite a few of them. 1 and 36. Half of 36 is 18. 3 goes in there 12 times. 4 goes in there 9 times. 5 can't go in there. 6 can. 6 times 6. And now I have a double. So we're done with that one. So this one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets to make 36. Has lots of factors. So 18 had 3 sets. And then 60 also has quite a few as well. So 1 and 60. Half of 60 is 30. 3 goes in there is 20. 4 can. 4 times 15. 5 can. And 6 can. So I want you to see if you can finish those. I'll even come back and help you out. 2 and 3 both go into there. So see if you can find the missing numbers. And then you need to find the one that is the biggest on all 3 lists. Has to be on all 3. And then which one is the biggest. Okay, at number 9, we are going to compare the fractions using the least common multiple. So we're going to find the number that they both can go into. So 7, 3 can't go into 7, 14, 3 can't go into 14, 21, they both go into 21. So we're going to use 21 as their least common multiple. It's the smallest number they both go into. So how do I get from 7 to 21? Well, I times by 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. And then how do I get from 3 to 21? I times by 7. So 2 times 7 is 14. So I can see 14 21st is a lot bigger than 3 21st. So 3 21st is less than 14 21sts. Okay, and then we have these over here. So we've got 6 and 8. I'm actually going to make a list just to help keep track of everything. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So let's see, 8, 16, no, 24. Oh, yep, they both have 24. So we're going to make least common multiples of 24. Now I want to know, how do I get from 6 to 24? I'm going to do the same thing to 4. Put it here. How do I get from 8 to 24? Right, it was times 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to times the numerator 4 by 3 and see which one is bigger. So whatever you do to the bottom, now we have to do to the top to keep that equivalent. And then we're going to write that inequality to compare them. Okay, and number 13, it wants us to compare these. Now these are both negatives. So we got to flip what we know, right? The farther to the left it is on the number line, the smaller it's going to be. So we know these are both over here. So we need to see if we can reduce these or find common denominators. So if I'm counting by, if I double this, I know 9 can't go into 21. Next would be 42. 9 can't go into 42. So I'm going to see if I can simplify them a little bit. So I need common factors of things that can be divided into 14 and 21. So if I'm thinking 14, 1 times 14, 2 times 7, 3 can't, 4 can't, 5 can't, 6 can't. Those are all my factors. And then 21, 1 and 21, 2 can't, 3 times 7. Oh, look, they both have 7. So I can divide 14 and 21 by 7. So 14 divided by 7 is 2. And 21 divided by 7 is 3. So this is worth 2/3. So if I'm coming here, if here's 1, right? 1/3, 2/3, negative 2/3 goes here. So now we need to see where's 3/9 going to go. So 3 and 9, the only factors of 3 are 1 and 3. So 2 can't, and we already have 3. And then if I do 9, 1 times 9, 2 can't, and 3 and 3. So our common factor is 3. So we're going to divide these by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. So that's only 1/3. So now I can see that this one is bigger because it's farther to the right than -2/3. So if we're just comparing 2/3 and 1/3, or we're comparing their values, 2/3 sounds bigger. But because they're negatives, this person has less than this person. So make sure I can see your work and your information to go with this. You can't just have an answer. So if you're doing it with me, if I write it, you write it.